I'm ready.
Welcome to Paranormal, the New Normal. I am your host, as always, Jeremy, here to try and make the world seem a little more normal. Does it ever happen? Nah, come on now. And we certainly aren't making this happen tonight. So if that's your hopes here, pack your bags, get in the train, and just come join the craziness. Because we are
You're out of
stepping
here.
onto exactly. And we are stepping onto that crazy train that is the Cryptid Bracket. The first bracket I made up for this show, and still my favorite. What can I say? It's just one of my favorites. It's who doesn't love cryptids in this field, in the paranormal world? Who doesn't love cryptids? And speaking of loving cryptids, my guest for this one is none other than Bobby Dizzle himself of the Caffeinated Cryptid podcast. What's going on, Bobby?
How's it going? I got my coffee. I'm caffeinated. Now I'm just ready for cryptid. I have all the trifecta.
Well, I can't say I'm caffeinated, but I got cryptids, and that's all I need in this world. So
I wasn't going to,
I'm
but then
good.
I was like, I'm gonna put my best foot forward, and I'm gonna get some good coffee going, even though it's late. I can melatonin my way to sleep. I went to the gym for about I went to kickboxing for about an hour, so now I knew I'd be kind of tired and fading off, so I went ahead and took a precaution. The caffeinated cryptid will be caffeinated.
Well, the bracket definitely thanks you for that. And actually, have you tried that Tactisquatch coffee that Walmart sells?
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's one of the better black. It's one of the better black rifles.
Nice. All right. I mean, I always want to buy it because of the cover
it's got Sasquatch. But it's actually good. I actually tried it. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. Nice and strong. Good flavor.
All right. Me and the wife have to try that one now. But
do you use a K cup?
Well, I do.
There's really good K cups.
They make K cups?
Mm-hmm. The Tactisquatch K cup's amazing.
Might have to look for those on Amazon. But and hello, Pam. Thank you for watching. And with that, I think it's time to get this underway because you have 34 cryptids to choose between to choose who's going to win this battle royal of the cryptids of the world. And let me tell you, folks, this one's always fun because these matchups are randomly generated. I couldn't have made these matchups in my wildest dreams because I'm just not that creative. But these matchups, I just randomly put the list in and it gave me these, and God help us all, we're doing it. Once again.
Can't wait.
Well, your first matchup, Bobby, is the Yowie versus Ghosts/Spirits.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Let me.
There is no sense or there is no logic to the matchups in this. Just let you know.
Okay, so I'm making them. So all ghost versus
all ghost versus all Yowies because there's more than one supposedly.
What the hell? This is a crazy show.
And you don't have to pick for any particular reason either. You could pick which one you think win the fight, which one you like more, which one you hate more, which one creeps you out the most, which one turns you on the most. I don't care the reason you pick. You could tell us the reason you pick, but it doesn't make a difference to me why you pick. I just want to see you.
Okay.
Oh, and thank you, Pam. I appreciate that.
Nice. Here's my reasoning. Does Yowie encompass all Bigfoot or just the Yowie?
Just the Yowie in particular. That's subspecies of Bigfoot.
Okay, I got to go with Ghost then. Because that's a big category. That's a heavy conference. Ghost, all ghost.
Oh, I mean,
more
of the idea of ghost versus the idea of Yowie. I mean, all these are theories, technically.
Ghost wins.
Yeah.
Ghost wins.
All right. Hey,
I'm a ghost.
Trust me, there are a lot of different cryptids in this. I'm not complaining about the first matchup. Trust me. It gets a lot weirder.
I'm going to end up hating myself toward the end. I'm going to write it down.
That means that your matchup to see who's going to face Ghost in the second round is a sea versus sky matchup because it's Merpeople versus Thunderbirds.
Ooh, that's a tough one. So Thunderbirds are American
Technically,
and Native
supposedly.
American. My first car was a Mercury Cougar, which is kind of a Thunderbird. Um, versus Merpeople.
Merpeople.
Let's flesh this out. We got Merpeople who are vicious and lure you in and are kind of like sirens. You got Thunderbirds that are birds.
Possibly pterodactyls, but yes.
Yeah, big birds. Uh I'll tell you, I'm siding with the Merpeople here. Their lore is deeper, and they seem to be more deadly and tougher as far as their tactics and everything. So I'm going with Merpeople.
Well, from what I heard of them, they are usually they're not like the Disney version. Put it that way, folks.
No,
But
they change shapes and stuff. It's crazy.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, yeah, the Selkie and all that, which I don't think the Selkie's on this bracket, so I'm not worried about that. But that means that means that Merpeople will face Ghost in round two, but we'll get to that eventually. The
Ghosted round.
next match, the next matchup in round one is, and I couldn't even make this up. I couldn't make this up. The Dover Demon versus Mokele Mbembe.
What the hell was that? Mokele
Oh,
and
you
Mimi?
haven't. Okay, well, one, I'm about to give you I'm about to give you a topic for an episode of your podcast. I'm about to
I
give
probably
you
have heard of it. I just don't, I'm not thinking.
Mokele Mbembe is basically a brontosaurus type dinosaur creature that's supposed to live in the Congo.
Congo. Okay. Versus the Dover Demon?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Africa versus Jersey.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Let's see.
Oh, Jay would ride Macaulay and Mbembe. Who you can?
Hey, Jay is Jack Osborne's partner in his new ghost hunting show.
I've heard about that. I have not had. I have a feeling it'd be freaking hilarious, but
it's the weirdest feeling because you got Jack Osborne and like Jay is like his friend. He's trying to keep off drugs.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
okay, Brontosaurus. I'm not going to say the name from Congo versus the Dover Demon. I'm going with the Brontosaurus just so we got a dinosaur in the hunt.
well, that means Mokele Mbembe makes the lead into round two, and it's going to be facing either Will the Wisp / Ghostlights or Champ.
So Ghost Lights versus Champ.
Yep.
For the sake of the, let's see, I'm gonna go with Ghost Lights here just because it's more interesting than Champ. I think Champ kind of plays off the. He gets a lot of clout because of Nessie, and I don't want him
Yep.
getting in. I don't want him getting in because of strength of conference, and so and so I'm going to go with the Ghost Lights. Does that include the railroad track lights and the lights in the on?
Yep.
Okay,
They're
Ghost
all
Lights in that.
they're all technically ghost lights or Will the Wisp, whatever you want to call them. But and it's also a very good Avantasia album. But that means that Will the Wisp will face Mokele Mbembe in the next round. But your next matchup, and okay, this is one of those. Remember, I said there's something you're not gonna be able to spell if you wanted to.
Oh yeah,
but
I
this
figured that was the Brontosaurus.
No, Mokele Mbembe is actually very phonetically sounding to spell. So I mean, it's doable. But this one, you have Reptilians versus Elwedrich.
I'll need to know what that is, but I think I have my mind made up already, depending on what that is.
Well, the Elwedrich, I gotta get my German accent going for that one, is a bird-like creature. It's basically a chicken creature with antlers that has scales instead of feathers.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what the red and link thing's named after or made after, isn't it? The mythical,
Not.
good
Oh,
mythical.
I'm not. Yeah, I haven't heard about that, but um, it's basically from Germany, and basically it was forgotten for about until people started having hunting parties for them as kind of like a drunk dinner game. So
Mm.
that's when it made a comeback, and it's also known in America among the Pennsylvania Dutch people
Versus all reptilians. I gotta
versus all
go.
reptilians.
I gotta go with Queen Elizabeth on this one. Reptilians. I gotta go.
Hillary Clinton gets a win.
Here's the baby embryos. Everybody take a drink.
And all right, this next matchup is freaking amazing, and I love doing this matchup right now. But
This is more fun
it's
I thought it was gonna be. By the way.
I'll take that as a compliment, I think. But
Yeah. I didn't know what
and
to expect, so I was going in.
there's a few of them out there you could listen to if you really want to. But I'm actually happy you didn't, because then you would know the matchups already. So, but reptilians are going to be facing in the second round either Bigfoot or shadow people.
Bigfoot or shadow. Bigfoot wins. Bigfoot may already have an advantage in this. Depends on what happens.
We'll see. He hits some heavy hitters eventually in this, but we'll see which way it goes. That's for damn sure. But that means Bigfoot will move on and face reptilians in the next round.
Ooh.
But the next, yeah, I know. That's why I say Bigfoot doesn't always make it out of round 2 in this. I've done this a few times now, and he doesn't always make it out of round 2. But the next matchup is another fun one, because it's going to be vampires versus the Wolpertinger.
The Wolpertinger? What's
The Wolpertinger. The Wolpertinger is another German cryptid, and it's basically a rabbit with wings, antlers, a tail, and fangs. It's usually pictured as a rabbit, but it can be a squirrel body too, and it sometimes has the legs of a pheasant.
Versus vampires.
Yeah, so you got a crazy German cryptid that someone was most likely drunk when they reported for the first time versus vampires.
Since I didn't give Germans the chicken, let's give them the rabbit. Give me the Wolpertinger over the vampires.
All right.
Just because vampires kind of lost their luster in the fact that I know where they came from in the lore, and so this actually has maybe has a leg to stand on.
Well, you say that, but have you looked into the Highgate vampire?
No, the only thing I'm thinking of is what's his name, Vlad the Impaler.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that story.
Oh, I knew exactly where you were going with that, but
yeah,
there are some cases out there that have been around for a couple hundred years now that are a little bit unexplained, such as the Highgate vampire in London. But that means to figure out who's facing the Wolpertinger, we got to do a play-in matchup to figure out which one of these two is making it to round 1 even. And the play-in matchup on this side of the board is the Flatwoods Monster versus the Lizard Man of Skateboard Swamp.
Flatwoods.
Ooh, fast
get him
there.
in. Yeah, Flatwoods is powerful.
Well, he might not be that powerful. It might not be. I'm sorry. I'm gender assuming here with cryptids, but it might not be that powerful because it moves into round 1. But in the first matchup, it's facing Dogmen.
Ooh. Talk about your Cinderella story and midnight striking. It'll strike midnight for the Cinderella story. Yeah, Dogman comes in. Dogman wins. That's the scary new man. Scary new. Dogman is a scary new hip thing to do now.
I wouldn't say it's hip now, but it's definitely not new. They've been around for
well, not new, but it's like right now it's cool to be a Dogman person.
Yeah. I'm proud to say I've been one since 2016 and I haven't turned back. But
it's interesting.
But that means the Wolpertinger will face Dogman in the next round. But for right now, we're going to move to the other side of round 1. And the first matchup, let's go for a little bit good old of New Jersey versus England. because it's the Jersey Devil versus Owlman.
Owlman. Give me some background on Owlman. Bet I can
It's
flesh it out.
the Owlman is basically, how do I describe it? Like a Mothman almost for England.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a winged cryptid that looks like an owl. That basically it was known in the early days to attack travelers on forest roads late at night, and now it's basically getting seen like the Mothman gets seen all around America and all around the world, really, but around America especially. And no, people, we're not talking about the Court of Owls from Batman here. Just saying.
My instinct wanted to go Jersey Devil just because it's so well known. But you got the Owlman from England. Europe's getting kind of shit on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. But
oh, you can curse on this podcast.
I didn't know. Let's go with the Owlman. Just shake it up a little.
All right. Well, that means
shake it up.
Well, Owlman's gonna get shooken up all right by one of these two in the next matchup. And
Owlman's not making it.
Maybe. It depends how you feel. But Owlman's gonna be facing either rakes / pale crawlers or Wendigos.
God, gotta pick between those.
Yep.
It's like the same. That's like the same thing.
No, it's not. That's not the same thing at all. Wendigos are more ancient, and rakes and pale crawlers are a new phenomenon that people can't explain where they come from.
Wait, what did you say? Rakes and pale cars?
Yeah, it's rakes / pale crawlers versus Wendigo.
Pale crawler. Okay.
Yeah, some people don't know they're called rakes. I don't know why. I can't.
I know what they do. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Wendigo, just because they got that Native American Appalachian history behind them, but / Scottish.
Scottish, huh? I haven't heard that part.
Well, there's a little bit of like a cross. There's like a cross between Scottish and Appalachian lore. Some people say it's because the Appalachians used to be part of Scotland before they split off. But most people it's probably because the Appalachians are settled by Scottish. But it's more fun to think it's that.
More likely, but
yeah.
That means the Owlman will face Wendigo in round 2. But
poor Owlman.
Your next matchup is an aquatic matchup, and it's the Loveland Frogman versus the Loch Ness Monster.
God, I don't even know. Loch Ness Monster wins. I don't even know what the Frogman is, but you got to go with Nessie. It's a heavy hitter.
Loveland Frogman is basically a bipedal giant frog creature that somebody saw in Loveland. I think Loveland's in one of the southern states. I forget which exactly, but
sounds like Texas.
But the might be actually, I think. And there's been other sightings of frogmen, and some people think people either go in the it's a science experiment gone wrong camp, or they go in the possible extraterrestrial camp.
It's actually Ohio.
Oh, Loveland, Ohio. Oh, yep. I should have known that. Monsteropolis. Come on now. But I should have known that.
Ashley Hilt just posted about this like an hour ago. As a matter of fact.
One of my co-hosts on Global Strangeness likes to give me shit all the time for believing in Frogman. He's like, he always says, if you believe in the Loveland Frogman, nothing you say makes sense. So, but that means the next matchup, and this is one of my favorites, is the Dungovenhooter versus Alien Big Cats. Which
what the hell is he doing that? The Dungovenhooter.
The Dungovenhooter is like a crocodile, but it doesn't have a mouth. So it consumes its prey by pulverizing its victims into a fine powder and snorting them through a set of large nostrils. When we originally did this bracket a year ago as a group, it quickly got nicknamed the cocaine crocodile.
I was going to say, I think I went to college with that guy. He lived next to me. So we got the cocaine crocodile and alien big cats.
alien big cats, which is not really extraterrestrial in origin, but more alien as in not being where they should be, such as mountain
Okay.
lions and black panthers making their way back into America when they weren't native to America for decades.
Okay. Being from Alabama, and this is a huge thing here, I'm going with the big cats. The
Yeah,
Panthers. The
alien big
Panthers
cat.
are a. The Panthers are a huge thing here now because they're here, but no one wants to admit it.
I went through the same thing in New York with mountain lions because I actually saw one with my father when I was a kid, and no one believed us. And like my dad even called the environmental department, and like they kind of told him like, yeah, we've been reintroducing them into the area. Just keep it quiet.
Just
So,
keep it quiet. That's like the
well, I mean,
damn gators around here in the 70s. Like just release gators into the water. Like thanks. They eat all the
and
beavers.
yeah, and I mean, I got turned on to alien big cats as a theory by Derek Hayes from Monsters Among Us. So,
Oh yeah, it
because
definitely wins
that's
because I know people with pictures of them on their cameras, the game cameras. So it definitely wins for me.
oh, oh, I see so many pictures of them on game cameras on different Facebook groups. It's not even funny. But at this point, I don't think the government wants to admit UFOs are real, but they don't want to admit that alien big cats are real. Go figure. Go figure.
Or I don't know what they got against releasing Bigfoot. I mean, what are we going to do if we know they're real? Go to the woods more? Like,
Oh, God forbid you get out in front of the TV and go in the woods more. God
yeah,
forbid. But that means alien big cats will face the Loch Ness monster in round 2.
that was one of those confident votes I did all day. I feel really good
Well,
about that.
well, yeah, might not feel good about the rest of them because the rest of these are really weird matchups. I'm just saying that right now. None of these are going to make sense at this point. Because your next matchup is black dogs / hellhounds, and they're going versus Goat Man versus or the Pope Lick Monster.
Go, man. I'm going to say Hellhounds are a stronger matchup for several reasons. Legends are stronger. The Hounds can eat a goat. I think they'll win anyway. Any way you try to slice them.
Well, I mean, the
They-
Pope Lick Monster is a goat man that walks around with an axe.
yeah, I don't know. I'm going to save them the trouble of getting their hopes up and go with the Hellhounds.
Well, that means that black dogs / hellhounds are going to be facing. Oh, and I lied. Apparently, they're going to be facing either Selkies or Mothman.
What's a Selkie? I know what that is.
Selkies they're kind of like a mermaid-like creature, but they
Yeah.
turn into sea. They basically have bodies like seals, and they'll shed their seal body for a human body to try to go trick somebody on land into living in the water with them.
Okay. I'm looking at it. Yeah, Mothman. I got to go with Mothman. Already got one mermaid in here. Yeah, Selkies. I can't do Selkies. I'm trying to win here.
I have a soft spot for Selkies because of a book I read in middle school where a Selkie was actually the villain of the story. So I heard about Selkies before I ever knew what any cryptid was. So
That kind of thing's so
but
scary though. The mermaids and the Selkies, because it could be
I mean,
anywhere.
well, I mean, yeah, Selkies especially because I mean I've heard less about mermaids being able to transform to go on land than I have Selkies. And
Yeah.
imagine thinking you're about to marry this beautiful Scottish girl, and then all of a sudden she wants you to go in the ocean. She turns into this huge seal. Yeah.
That's basically what marriage is anyway.
You said it, not me.
Hey,
You said not me.
he turned into a seal. Or child support. Child support. Anyway, but I digress.
Well, that means that
Doing a
black
bit over
dogs.
here.
I love a good bit, and I love that one. So that means black dogs / hellhounds will be facing Mothman in round 2. But you've only got 2 official matchups in round 1 left, and the first one is Mirrored Men versus the Mongolian Deathworm.
Oh my gosh, mirrored men. Hang on, I know what that is. It's terrifying. What is the mirrored men?
Mirrored Men is a phenomenon that was brought to light on Monsters Among Us podcast by one of the creator's friends calling in his story in the first season. And lo and behold, all of a sudden other stories start coming in from people about their experiences with the same phenomenon of 3 identical looking figures that they'd see walking down the street, walking on a path in the woods, all dressed the same, all moving in fluid motion with each other in synchronization completely. And you lose time when you see them, anywhere from a couple hours to 8-10 hours.
Ooh, that's scary. It's like a vortex. And what was the other one?
The Mirrored Men are going against the famous Mongolian death worm, which is basically Tremors in real life.
Yeah. It's funny how I've heard of all of these. I can't remember half of them. Mongolian death worm. That's a tough one because that's an actual like vicious cryptid. Well, Mongolian's creepy. It gets. I'm going Mongolian death worm. Mongolia is kind of mysterious.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, death worm. I'm going death worm. We don't have anything like that in there yet. Mirrored Man has too much slender man feel to it.
Yeah, well, there ain't no Slender Man on this because Slender Man is. We don't count creepypasta creations for cryptids.
Yeah,
but
he's not. It just has that feel.
But that means that you are in for the last play-in of the match of the whole bracket to determine which one of these is going into round 1. And this play-in is a fucked matchup. I'll just say it right now. But it's Greys versus Skinwalkers.
Man, why is that the play-in?
As I said, randomly generated matchups. I did not make these matchups.
Oh, so yeah, we're getting. So right now we're picking between little Greys and actual Skinwalkers.
Yep.
I think since this is a cryptid bracket, we got to go with Skinwalkers because I don't count aliens as a cryptid. As
yeah, I mean, I see the logic behind that theory. I do.
If I mean,
I had to throw.
They're both strong.
I had to.
Yeah, well, I don't care. It's fine with me. It's kind of like one of those up for the bait kind of things. Like a cryptid to me is something made up that no one's seen. Yeah, Skinwalkers. Yeah, because they would. If we're doing cryptid, it's got to be Skinwalkers.
Well, you think that was a fucked up matchup?
They have their own ranch.
That means that means your final matchup in round 1 is going to be Skinwalkers versus Chupacabras.
It's not as hard as you would think. I think I'm living Skinwalkers.
I don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you one bit.
I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of the Chupacabra thing, man. It's a freaking coyote with a mange.
I mean, the original Puerto Rican Chupacabra,
the goat sucker,
didn't look like a coyote with mange. That wasn't until it started happening in Mexico and Southern America that it started looking like a coyote with mange. In Puerto Rico, the way they were drawn by witnesses, it looked like an alien, an extraterrestrial of some kind.
Really? I'd look into that. I always thought that what they were reporting were those weird sick coyotes, and that's what they thought it was. I had to look into the actual origin.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look into the original Puerto Rican reports of it in the 80s. If you go by the 90s reports in Southern America and Mexico, then yeah, those ones, there's 2 different, you'll find a lot of 2 different pictures 2 different types of pictures out there for them. And the original pictures are a little more terrifying, but I don't blame you. Cause I mean, if there's one thing that one question I always get asked them on non-paranormal podcasts is what cryptid do you think is not real? And my answer is always Chupacabra, but because I mean, if I had to pick a cryptid that's not, I don't think is real, it would be Chupacabra. I mean, out of all these, that's the only one I could say for 100% I know is not real, probably. But it's fun to think about.
It does look like an alien.
Exactly, right? But that means it's time to start round 2 because you got through all. So you are now down to 16 cryptids altogether. And your first matchup is Ghost/Spirits versus Merpeople.
Ghost versus Merpeople. I put Ghost in because it was a real heavy conference versus who was it they were playing in the first one? Nobody. It was versus
Yeah,
Yowie.
yep.
I put Ghost in because it was a heavy one, but now they're facing and
Merpeople.
also an entire conference.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with Merpeople. It's because they're
Ooh.
actually closer to their entire conference of cryptid rather than just one regional cryptid.
Well, that means more people are moving on.
Yep.
And into the quarterfinals, and they're going to be facing either Mokede Mbembe or Will the Wisp / Ghost Lights.
Even their dingo hoppers can get ready for their matchup.
Ghost Lights moving on, I'm guessing.
Oh no, I was thinking. I was talking about the Merpeople and their dingo hoppers.
What the hell is a dingle hopper? I never heard
You know,
that
from
one.
Little Mermaid, the she has the fork.
Oh, I was not thinking Disney, dude. Come on.
So who was the next one? It was Ghost Lights and Brontosaurus.
Mokede Mbembe.
Hmm. Ghost Lights, Crazy Phenomenon. Let's go with the Mukele and Bimbe. I think I like them. I think I like to see them move on quicker because they are an actual cryptid as well.
All right.
Closer to the center.
Yep. Well, that means that Mokede Mbembe will face Merpeople in the next round. And your next matchup in round 2, though, and this one's going to be fun, is Reptilians versus Bigfoot.
Ooh, God. That's a big one. Reptilians.
2 heavy hitters.
Let's think it will make a stronger matchup going forward for the people listening at home. And I'm going to have to go Reptilians.
Well,
my favorite cryptid of all loses to Reptilians just to make that interesting matchup because everybody knows Bigfoot. Like everybody thinks I'm going to pick Bigfoot.
Well, let's see how good that's going to be in the next round. All depends on who you pick for the next match.
Well, Reptilians are I think pound for pound, they're unexplored, and it makes people think harder, and so it has more synapses growing with Reptilians. Like Bigfoot's been done. Not saying he's boring, but yeah, okay, Reptilians.
Yeah, I swear to God, though, if I see one more post on Facebook about how freaking why am I forgetting the name of it now? Why that original video was fake? I swear to God, I'm like, stop somebody. Like they're trying to say the whole what the hell? Why can't I remember the name of this film? Oh, Patterson Gimlin. They're trying to say all these posts I see now saying, oh, it was a guy in a suit. I'm like, no, it wasn't. They said that was a lie when they said that years ago. Like, Jesus.
Anytime I have a guest that talks about the Patterson Gimlin, I release the clip. I just put the clip. Was it a suit? And it gets like 400 or 500 views. Just people arguing. It's great.
That means Reptilians are going to be facing either the Whoopertinger or Dogmen.
That's got to be Dogmen. If we're getting to the top ones.
Yeah, well, you just finished off one side of round 2, so that side's down to 4 cryptids. Now it's time for the other side of round 2, and the first matchup is Owlman versus Wendigo.
I think we really shaved off. Let's go Wendigo. Yeah, Owlman has to lose to Wendigo. Wendigo's too famous. Too many sightings. Too much Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountains win every time.
Well, now it's time to see who's going to face the Wendigo, and it's going to be another sea versus land matchup. And it's the Loch Ness Monster versus alien big cats.
So I've already used my southern United States to fight them. That would be a battle of the southern United States if they Loch Ness Monster, alien big cats. 90-year-old picture, recent game.
Well, I mean, Loch Ness Monster, I used to follow Katie Elizabeth. She is one of like the most premier Nessie / Champ
Yeah.
investigators, and she's had some interesting videos.
Yeah, but Loch Ness Monster versus Black Panthers. I'm about to go Loch Ness. Too much lore. Too much of a heavy hitter. Too dense of a subject. Way older.
Yep, I agree. When alien made cats are most likely just real animals that have been released
Yeah.
back into the wild.
Yeah, it's really not a cryptid at all. It's just the same thing that's been there.
Yeah, it's only a cryptid because they don't admit they do it. But that means
I don't know why
the
they don't admit
next
it though. By the way, that's weird. Like, what are you
because they don't
hiding?
want to they don't want to be responsible for any small children or small pets killed.
Yeah.
That's why they don't admit it. But that means the next matchup is going to be Black Dogs / Hellhounds versus Mothman.
Ooh. I want to go strictly on preference. Going Mothman. Selfish pick. No, the
I
Black
mean,
Dog.
I would pick Mothman too. I mean, Mothman is far more interesting than fucking Hellhounds.
Yeah. I mean, the Hellhound thing just, it's one of those cryptids people talk about whenever they're out of stuff to talk about.
I will say I had one good episode of this show where I had a guy from the UK on back in like the first 10 episodes, and there was a church in the UK that actually has a black paw print on the door of it because apparently there was a black dog or whatever they call them over there. I forget what they call them over there. It starts with an S, I think. But it was trying to get into the church, supposedly back in like the older days, and when it jumped and hit the door, it left an imprint on the door that's still there to this day, supposedly.
I'd like to see that.
If you go to that episode, there's actually a picture of the guy that was on the show in front of that door. So it was Waza from Jesus. I'm not going to remember the name of his company now. It's been so damn long, but it's one of the first episodes. It's the only episode cover you'll see with a big door. So.
Oh yeah, not hard to find.
No, but that means Mothman will be facing in your final round 2 matchup either the Mongolian Deathworm or Skinwalkers. I know.
I gotta go Skinwalker. That's just so funny. The Mongolian death that could have existed a long time ago. You know,
it could still exist now for all we know.
Have there ever been like prehistoric giant insects or giant snakes? You never hear of giant insects or giant snakes.
I mean, there's the famous story of the World War II pilot who took a picture of a giant snake in the Congo. But
there's that one.
I've seen pictures of that, and it's just so that picture is real. That's terrifying.
100
and the fact that that snake could almost take the helicopter down from being on top of a tree.
Didn't he say it struck at it too?
Yeah, it struck at the helicopter. It didn't. I don't know if it hit or not. I forget that detail, but it got close if it didn't hit.
Did you watch the new Monarch Legacy of Monsters show? Had kind of scene like that in there.
I don't have Apple TV.
I'm a pirate though. I'll just.
Actually, I might be able to get it that way. You just remind me of something.
That's how I got it. That's how I'm watching it on the high seas.
I gotta look into that. But that means you are now. Yeah, it looks good. But and I love that they don't show it in the Godzilla vs Kong movie actually, but in one of those secret locations where they keep the not Titans, where the fuck they're called. My son loves that shit. I should know what they're called. The kaiju. And one of the places they keep the kaiju, it actually is in the book, in the novelization of that movie. They talk about Mokele Mkembe's as one of them.
They mentioned Yeti and Bigfoot in there too.
Did they?
Yeah, they got a picture of Bigfoot.
I gotta rewatch that movie. I think, or was that the show you're talking about?
In the show.
Oh, okay. Well, this was in the movie.
Oh yeah.
In the Mokele Mbembe's in the movie, which made me very happy as a
Don't they show the
paranormal.
brontosaurus like you're talking about? They show like a picture of it, don't they?
Maybe a
I
picture,
remember
but
seeing something like that.
in the novelization, they actually go to the pen that's holding it. But that means your first core file matchup, speaking of the big guy himself, is Merpeople versus Mokele Mbembe. It's a aquatic battle.
On the high seas, like we were just talking about.
Yes, exactly.
Merpeople, Kelly and Bimbe. Got Brontosaurus versus Ariel. Littlefoot versus Ariel. Three horns never play with long necks. This is a tough one. I love dinosaurs, but Congo, Merpeople are more widespread. This is one thing. Let's go with Merpeople.
All right. And that means that Merpeople are going to be facing in the semifinals either Reptilians or Dogmen.
Damn. Reptilians or Dogmen. Let's go Reptilians. Their roots run deeper.
Oh,
They got royalty.
I'm sorry, my favorite cryptid in the world, but you lost the Reptilians this time.
I know.
And that means
that was a hard one.
Merpeople versus Reptilians will be the one side semifinal matchup. But the other side for the quarterfinals starts off with Wendigo versus Loch Ness Monster herself, Nessie.
I forgot to pick Loch Ness Monster. Wendigo versus Nessie.
Yep.
So you got history, world famous. Wendigo's new on the scene.
Nessie's Wendigo's not that. Wendigo's not that new in the scene. Wendigos were in Pet Sematary, the original novel.
I mean, like the. Let's see. They really were, weren't they? That's what that thing was.
They were mentioned. You know, they never actually see one, but they're mentioned, and they hear them supposedly. Because actually, the Native American tribe that's mentioned in that book is a real tribe, and I actually met someone who was descendant of that tribe, and like he said, like his grandmother told him stories about Wendigos.
Let's take Wendigo because they have they're scarier.
I mean, yeah,
and they're more American now than Nessie is.
And Sam and Dean faced one, so
yep.
I think that's like the third episode. That's the third episode, I think. I'm pretty sure, but that means that the Wendigo is going to be facing in the semifinals either Mothman or Skinwalkers.
Sam and Dean. Mothman or Skinwalkers? Let's see. I gotta go Skinwalker. Mostly because that Mothman would have to face a Wendigo. Yeah, I think Skinwalker. They got a whole lot more clout nowadays. Like on the rise.
Yep. Now Skinwalker Ranch is a freaking huge hit. Yeah. Even though it has little to do with Skinwalkers, but
yeah, it's nothing to do with Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers is it's probably a huge misnomer, but yeah,
probably. I always thought. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it is in Utah. So that's like their place.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a Navajo thing, but
yeah,
that means that the Merpeople versus Reptilians will be your first semifinal matchup.
Okay, that's Reptilians all day. That's you got a wild fish versus a elite government agency, and they win. Reptilians.
Hillary Clinton gets another one.
Yep.
But
yes, we will.
That means your other semifinal matchup will be Wendigos versus Skinwalkers, which people commonly mistake these for the same thing.
Yeah, that was my big problem. Was like they're like borderline interchangeable, even though they're not.
There's slight differences. They are similar in some ways, but there's slight differences.
I think I'm going to give the edge. I'm
different
giving the
geographies.
edge to Skinwalkers because you have to do a blood in to be a Skinwalker. Wendigos are just a spirit.
Yep.
You got a blood in, blood
Which
out
me.
to be a Skinwalker.
Mhm. Well, that means you have 2 matchups left now, and we're going to start off with your third and fourth place matchup, and that's between Merpeople and Wendigo.
Well, I picked Reptilians over Merpeople.
Yep. Oh, I know, but this is your third and fourth place matchup to determine which of these is going to be third and fourth place.
Oh shit! Sorry, I was like, oh, did I get it wrong? So we got Merpeople versus Wendigo.
Yep.
Merpeople versus Wendigo. That's a tough one. Now I kind of want to put Merpeople back in there because he already got let's go Merpeople.
Which means that Merpeople will take third place, and Wendigo will go into fourth place in this one. And now, the moment that everybody's been waiting for, your final matchup to determine who is the top of the cryptid kingdom. And it's either Reptilians or Skinwalkers.
Oh, how did this happen?
Your choices.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I blacked out and woke up next to a reptilian or a skinwalker. Okay, so let's explore the lore of both of them. Reptilians, like I've been saying, they think it's Queen Elizabeth, Hollow Earth, sideways blinking eyes.
I am a big Hollow Earth proponent.
Yeah. Also in the new Legacy of Monsters show.
Oh well, it was in Kong Skull Island, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
they've been preaching that one for many movies.
Oh yeah. And Reptilians, Skinwalkers are Navajo. I think, and no one's ever told me not to say the word reptilians, but people have told me not to say the word skinwalker. So I'm going to go Skinwalker. Travis Taylor for the win.
Yeah, for a while when I first started the show, I was calling them shimwalkers, or as I heard someone once cleverly call them, human suit wearers.
Yeah, that's a creep. Have you ever seen the new version of Unsolved Mysteries, what it's called, Paranormal Rangers, the Navajo reservation?
I have
And
not.
that guy talked about seeing a skinwalker shift. It was like,
I've heard people calling their stories of Monsters Among Us about weird things out in the desert that, like, there'll be a deer right next to them, and then they look back and there's a human standing there, or
mm-hmm.
there'll be a coyote running after them behind them on the road, and all of a sudden it starts running on 2 feet.
Yep.
So
they'll stand up.
Or it could be, that could be a dog man too. Who the hell knows? But it's still creepy. It's all creepy as hell, and that's why we love it, because it's
all
the
fun
kind
and
of stuff
games. And the
that.
deer stands up.
Yeah. And there's a funny song about Dogman that has to do with that. But that means your final four in this, which I just want to tell everybody. The last time I did this bracket with somebody, none of these final four were in that final four. That's why I love this bracket almost more than a lot of my other brackets, because it's always different outcomes. Everybody's different with their cryptid love. But your final four are Wendigos in fourth place, Merpeople in third place, Reptilians in second place, and Skinwalkers in first place. And
ooh, that's a hefty lineup.
in the last one, none of those made it past round two, I'm pretty sure.
That's weird how that random generator does it. Because
I did the random generator once. It's the same matchups every time. Same matchups. I use the same template. I use the same template every time now. But when I originally did it, I did make the matchups randomly. But then I keep the template because I don't want to change it, because I like seeing different outcomes.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
Yeah, it all depends on people's mind and perspective on things and which way they're going to go. Like the last one I did was Ghosts and Spirits in fourth place, Jersey Devil in third place, Mothman in second place, and Bigfoot in first place.
Yeah. I tried to go more abstract and crazy.
Yeah, see, that person was going more with what they know.
Yeah.
But they're also she's a horror movie actress, so she's not in this world like we are as much.
Oh yeah,
So
she doesn't hear all the different stuff.
exactly. I mean, I mean, I love it. I don't know. I gotta have somebody do this with me one day so I could do it myself. And I don't know. I don't know how that would end up even. I couldn't tell you. It'd be in the moment. It'd be in the moment which way my mind wants to go. But folks, you can also hear what I said about each of these if you listen to the original group one of these back about a year ago. Um, when 5 or 7 of us did it. I forget how many there were, but I did vote on that one, so I didn't always get my way, but I voted. But I want to thank Bobby for coming on because it's been a fun damn bracket,
Mhm.
and he is welcome back anytime to do another one. We do have a conspiracies one, we have our urban legends one, so there's plenty of other options out there. But especially, I mean, paranormal. There's a lot of other paranormal options out there that
Oh
I've
yeah.
done. But Bobby, tell them where they could find you and your podcast if they want to hear you talk more about what you think of cryptids.
Oh yeah. Everything I have is on BobbyDizzle.com, but because it's called my podcast used to be called Bobby Dizzle Podcast, and I changed it to the Caffeinated Cryptid with Bobby Dizzle Podcast. And so I just call it the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast, but it's all there. BobbyDizzle.com. I'm on YouTube, the Caffeinated Cryptid. You can search that. Yeah, just if you search Caffeinated Cryptid on YouTube, that logo right there is going to pop up. And I have a Bigfoot playlist, a ghost playlist, and an alien playlist in there, all on iTunes and Spotify and iHeartRadio, all that good stuff.
Nice.
And that very fun driving podcast. Nice good stories.
I'm sure. I used to when I did that when I drove for a living. I used to love listening to podcasts like that all day,
Mhm.
but it makes time fly. But yeah, 60 miles doesn't seem that far when you're listening to paranormal stories.
Oh no,
But
60 miles ain't nothing. Listen to a podcast. You like wish there was more time.
yeah, I drove every day. I never wish for more time, but folks, you know where you can find me. If you don't, shame on you, shame on your cow, and shame on your family. But or you can just listen to the outro and you'll hear all the beautiful places I can be found, where all my entertainment is put. Check them out. And I believe I shall be back tomorrow with another one-on-one bracket, unless I'm mistaken, and it's for my other show, but I don't think I am. And oh, yeah, actually, I am. Yeah, okay. Tomorrow is for my other show, so come back tomorrow if you want to check out Maniacal Music Musings, which streams in those same places anyway. And tomorrow is the TV theme songs bracket again, with a new contestant this time. So come check it out and enjoy the fun. And remember, check out Bobby Dizzle wherever you can find him.
Mhm.
BobbyDizzle.com, folks. Just go check it
That's
out.
it.
And of course, his Spotify link and everything else will be in the description of this when it comes out in audio form. But until next time, I appreciate Bobby coming on for the fun, and
Oh
I
yeah.
appreciate all of those who watched, commented, and those who will listen. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're listening/watching. Till next time, have a good one.
Peace.